God says, I know what you cried about last night before you touched that phone to scroll away. Stop. I already know what kept you awake last night. I know the exact thought that circled in your mind at 2 a.m. while the rest of the house was asleep. And I did not send you this video by accident. I sent it because tonight, I am going to answer the thing you have not said out loud to anyone. Stay with me for the next few minutes, not because I am asking for your time, because I am about to tell you 3 things I have been waiting to say to you for a very long time. And the third one will change how you see the rest of your life. I am the Lord your God, and I am the God who remembers. My daughter, I know you, not the version of you that answers I am fine when someone asks how you are. Not the version that smiles through the family photo, the real you. The one who lies still in the dark some nights, staring at the ceiling, wondering if anyone would notice if you disappeared into the background completely. I see that woman. I have always seen her. And tonight, I am speaking directly to her. Here is the first thing I need you to hear. You are not too much, and you are not too little. You are not too old for the plans I have for you, and you are not too tired to matter. I know the world has started speaking to you in a certain tone lately, a little more patient, a little more dismissive, as though your voice carries less weight than it used to. I do not speak to you that way. I have never once lowered my voice when I speak your name. You are still exactly as important to me as you were the day I formed you. Here is the second thing. I know the ache of being surrounded by people and still feeling unseen. I know what it is to sit at a family dinner, laughing along, while a part of you quietly wonders when anyone last asked what is really on your heart. I know the loneliness that does not look like loneliness from the outside, because your calendar is full and your hands are busy, but your soul feels like it is standing in an empty room. I am in that empty room with you. I have never once left it. And here is the third thing, the one I most need you to receive tonight. I am not finished with your story. Whatever chapter you believe you are in right now, the quiet one, the waiting one, the one that feels like it is winding down, I tell you the truth. I am writing pages for you still. There is purpose in this season that you cannot yet see. The way you could not see 20 years ago what today would look like. Trust me the same way now. I want to remind you of a woman named Elizabeth. She had waited her whole life for something she believed would never come. And by the time it finally arrived, she was well past the years the world expected it of her. Her neighbors had long since stopped expecting anything remarkable from her story. But I had not stopped. I was simply waiting for the right season. And when it came, her joy was so complete that she could barely contain it. My daughter, I do the same today. The world may have stopped expecting your remarkable chapter. I have not. I know some of you carry a specific weight tonight. A husband whose health worries you more than you let on. A child who has drifted from the family, and the silence of not knowing how to reach him. A body that reminds you daily that it is not what it once was. A bank account that keeps you awake doing math you wish you did not have to do. I see every one of these. I am not distant from a single one of them. I am as close to you in this exact worry as I have ever been to anyone in my whole world. I know some of you are grieving someone right now, and the version of the holidays or the ordinary Tuesdays that used to include them now feels hollow in a way no one else quite understands, because everyone else has moved on and you have not fully, not yet. I have not asked you to move on. I have asked you to let me walk the grief with you, for as long as it takes, without a deadline. Stay with me. because there is more I need to say, and I do not want you to miss it by letting your mind wander back to the noise of the evening. I know some of you have spent years being the one who holds the family together, quietly, without thanks, the one who remembers to call on hard anniversaries, the one who smooths over the tension no one else wants to address, the one who shows up even when showing up costs you more than anyone realizes. I see the invisible labor of love you have carried for decades. It has never once gone unnoticed by me, even on the days it went unnoticed by everyone else at that table. I know some of you look at your finances some months and feel a fear you do not say out loud, wondering if what you have saved will be enough for the years ahead, wondering if you will become a burden to the very children you spent your life not wanting to burden. I want you to hear me clearly. I have never once abandoned a woman who trusted me with her provision. I fed a widow in a famine with a jar of flour that did not run out until the rain finally came. I am not limited by your bank statement. I see further ahead than your worry can reach. I know some of you have watched your role in your own family shift in ways that ache more than you let on. You used to be the one everyone came to for advice, for help, for a place to land. Now, some days, you feel like you are the one waiting to be asked, waiting to be included, wondering when you became more of an afterthought than a center. My daughter, your value was never rooted in how needed you felt. It was rooted in whose you are, and you have always, every day of your life, belonged to me. I know the specific loneliness of a Sunday afternoon when the phone stays quiet longer than you would like to admit. I know the quiet disappointment of a birthday that passed more softly than it once did, of grandchildren who are wonderful but far away, of a marriage that either ended or simply grew distant with time, of friendships that have thinned as everyone's world grew smaller and busier. I have not grown smaller toward you. I have not grown busier elsewhere. I am exactly as near to you tonight as I have ever been to anyone, anywhere, in any hour of history. There is a woman named Ruth. I want you to remember tonight too, alongside Elizabeth. She left everything familiar behind, walked into an uncertain future with nothing but faithfulness in her hands, and I met her in a field of barley she had no reason to expect blessing in. I did not forget her, because her circumstances looked ordinary and unremarkable. I was quietly arranging her whole future, while she was simply doing the next faithful thing in front of her, gathering grain, one handful at a time. That is what faithfulness often looks like. My daughter, not dramatic, not loud, just the next right thing, done with a trusting heart, while I work behind the scenes on the parts of your story you cannot yet see. You have spent so many years pouring yourself out for other people. Tonight, I am pouring into you. I am not asking you for anything right now. Not a longer prayer, not a better routine, not more effort. I am simply asking you to receive this. You are loved completely tonight, exactly where you are, exactly as you are, without a single condition attached. There is one more thing I want to leave with you before we close tonight, because I do not want you to walk away from this moment and forget it by morning. You are allowed to ask me for things, not just for your children, not just for your grandchildren, not just for the people on your prayer list who have been there for years, for yourself, for your own healing, your own peace, your own joy in this season. So many of you have grown so used to asking on behalf of everyone else that you have nearly forgotten how to bring me your own heart's desires tonight. I am inviting you back to that. What do you need? Say it to me plainly, the way you would to someone who actually has the power to help. Because I do. I am not tired of your requests. I am not too busy for your specific, ordinary personal ache. Bring it to me tonight. And remember the woman with the issue of blood, who had spent everything she had on physicians for 12 long years with nothing to show for it, who simply reached out in a crowd and touched the edge of my robe, believing that was enough. It was enough. I felt power leave me the moment she touched me, because faith like hers does not go unnoticed, even in a crowd, even after years of disappointment, even when she had almost given up hope that anything would ever change. If you feel that you have been reaching out for a long time without seeing the change you hoped for, I want you to know, I feel every reach. I have never once missed one. There is something else I want to walk through with you tonight, because I do not want you to leave this moment only comforted. I want you to leave it changed. I know you have carried the label of getting older like it was something to apologize for. The world hands you that label and expects you to shrink beneath it, to lower your voice, to take up less space, to stop expecting new things from your life. But I did not create aging to be a diminishing. I created it to be a deepening. Wine does not become less valuable with age. It becomes richer, more complex, more treasured by those who understand its worth. You are not becoming less. You are becoming more of exactly who I made you to be. Layer by layer, year by year, and anyone who cannot see that has simply not yet learned how to see the way I see. I think of Caleb, who at 85 years old stood before his leaders and asked, not for rest, but for a mountain. He said his strength was the same as it had been decades before, and he still wanted his portion of the promise. He did not ask to be excused from purpose because of his age. He asked for his mountain. My daughter, I am asking you tonight, what is your mountain? What promise have you quietly let go of because you assumed your season for it had passed? I have not forgotten that promise. I am asking if you are ready to ask me for it again. I know some of you have prayed the same prayer for years, for a child, for a marriage, for a friendship, for a healing, and the answer has not come the way you hoped. And some nights it is hard not to wonder if I am still listening. I am still listening. I have not grown tired of your voice. Delay is not denial. Some of the most significant answers in my word took decades to arrive. And when they arrived exactly on time. Not one day late. I am not late with you either. I know some of you feel invisible in rooms, full of younger voices, in a world that seems to celebrate everything new and overlook everything seasoned. I want you to know that in my kingdom, the elders are not overlooked. They are honored. They are the ones I have historically used to anoint kings, to bless generations, to speak wisdom that changed the course of families. Your voice has not lost its weight in my kingdom. If anything, it has only grown heavier, richer, more needed by a generation that is starving for the wisdom only your years could have given you. So tonight, I want you to stop shrinking. I want you to stop apologizing for your age, your slower pace, your changed body, your quieter calendar. I want you to start walking like a woman who knows she still has a mountain to climb, a promise to receive, and a God who has never once forgotten a single year of her story. There is one more thing I need to say before we come to the end of this tonight. You are not alone in this room, even if it feels quiet. I have never once measured my closeness to you by how many people are around you. I was with Elijah when he sat alone under a tree, so exhausted by his own life that he asked to die, and I did not scold him for his despair. I sent an angel to feed him, let him sleep, and met him gently in a whisper on the mountain when he was ready. If you are in a season that feels like sitting under that tree, worn out in ways you cannot fully explain. I am not going to scold you either. I am going to feed you, let you rest, and meet you gently, in my own time, in my own whisper. I want you to release something tonight, and I want you to do it deliberately, not just think about it. Release the belief that you must hold everything together, perfectly for everyone else, before you are allowed to fall apart in front of me. You do not have to hold it together here. You do not have to have the right words. You can simply sit in this moment, in whatever state you are actually in, and let that be enough for tonight, because it is enough for me. There are a few more things I want to walk through with you before we come to the end, because I know some of you are still holding something back, still keeping one part of your heart guarded even from me. I know some of you have quietly stopped, expecting big things from your prayers, not because you stopped believing I exist, but because you have prayed the same request so many times, for so many years, that you have made peace with the idea that the answer may simply never come. You have lowered your expectations to protect yourself from more disappointment. My daughter, I understand why you did that, but I want to gently remind you tonight that faith is not the absence of disappointment. It is the decision to keep bringing me your heart's desires even after disappointment, because you still believe I am good even in the waiting. I have not asked you to pretend the wait does not hurt. I have asked you not to stop asking. I know some of you carry regret from decisions made decades ago, choices you wonder about late at night, roads not taken, words spoken in anger you cannot take back, years you feel you wasted before you knew better. I want you to hear this clearly. I am not reviewing your life the way you review it. I do not sit with a list of your failures, waiting to remind you of them. I sit with a record of grace, covering every one of those years, and I have never once withheld my presence from you because of something you did decades ago. Whatever you are still carrying guilt for, I want you to set it down tonight. It was never meant to stay in your hands this long. I know some of you look at your children's lives, or your grandchildren's choices, and grieve paths you wish had gone differently. You have prayed over them more than you can count, and some of those prayers still feel unanswered. I want you to remember that I love them even more fiercely than you do, and I have not stopped working in their lives simply because the work is happening somewhere you cannot see it yet. Your prayers over them are not lost. They are part of a story that is still being written. And I am asking you to trust the parts of it you cannot see the same way you trust me with the parts you can. I know some of you feel a quiet fear about what is still ahead physically, about decline, about becoming dependent, about the unknowns that tend to grow louder the further along this road you walk. I want to remind you that I do not wait until the hard chapters to show up. I am already present in every version of your future, the easy chapters and the difficult ones, and I promise you that I will not hand you a single day without also giving you the grace to walk through it. My grace does not arrive early. It arrives exactly when you need it, not one moment before. And that has never once failed you yet. There is a woman named Naomi's daughter-in-law, Ruth, and there is also a widow at Zarephath. I want to remind you of tonight, a woman down to her very last handful of flour and a small amount of oil, expecting that meal to be her last before she and her son would starve. I asked her, through my prophet, to give what little she had first, trusting that I would provide, and I did. That jar of flour did not run dry, and that jug of oil did not run empty, for as long as the famine lasted. I tell you her story because some of you feel, tonight, like you are down to your last handful of something: patience, energy, hope, faith. I am the same God who kept that jar full. I have not changed. What feels like your very last handful tonight is not actually your last, because I am still in the business of making what is small enough. I love you not because of what you have accomplished, not because of how well you have aged, not because of how faithfully you have served, though I see every bit of that. I love you because you are mine. That was decided before you did a single thing to earn it. And it will not be revoked by anything you do or fail to do in the years you have left. This is not a love that runs out. It is not a love that grows tired of being needed. It is not a love that quietly redirects itself to someone younger, someone busier, someone more visibly productive. It is fixed on you tonight, in this exact moment, completely. If you believe that I see you tonight, exactly as you are, in exactly the season you are in, right beneath this, I am not forgotten. And now, before you close this video and return to whatever the rest of your evening holds, I want to ask you to do one more thing for me. Think of a name, just one. A friend from church you have not called in a while. A sister who has been unusually quiet on the family group chat. A neighbor whose husband passed and who has been a little too alone since. I placed that name in your mind on purpose, and I am asking you not to ignore it. She may be sitting in her own version of the room you are sitting in right now, wondering the exact same thing you wondered before you opened this video tonight, whether anyone still sees her, whether anyone still thinks of her, whether she still matters in the ordinary rhythm of other people's days. You have the chance right now, tonight, to be the answer to that wondering. Send her this video, not with a long explanation, just a simple message. I thought of you, and I think you need to hear this tonight. That is all it takes. I have used smaller things than that to remind a tired heart that it was never actually alone. Do not let this be the video you meant to share and then forgot by morning. Share it now, while her name is still fresh in your mind, while the nudge is still fresh in your spirit. I placed that thought there for a reason, and I am asking you to trust it. If this reached you tonight, like this video, leave your amen in the comments below, and share it with the person whose name just came to mind. And if you want to hear my voice remind you again that you are not forgotten, subscribe to this channel, because I intend to keep saying this to you week after week, for as long as you need to hear it. You are not forgotten. You never were. Amen.